Welcome back to the PYQ series of Ancient Medieval and Art and Culture of the year 2024. So, Ancient Medieval Art and Culture in the questions, they were on a difficult note. This is what we learned. 21 paper, 22 paper, 23 paper ನೋಡಿದಾಗ Ancient Medieval difficult ಇತ್ತಂತ ಗೊತ್ತು. One mistake what aspirants do is paper difficult ಇತ್ತು in last few years ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. But if you see in the year 2024, the questions were on a easier line. So those who neglected the paper would have lost some precious marks in the year 2024. So ಈ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. So a decent level of knowledge, a decent preparation for each of these subjects, ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಇರಲಿ, ಟಫ್ ಬರಲಿ, ಈಸಿ ಬರಲಿ, ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. Because we never know how UPSC could ask in the subsequent year. So with this note, let us start the discussion. As we go on, you yourself will see in the year 2024 the questions were on easier note, and many of these questions could have been answered very easily from the static knowledge that we had. So let us begin the discussion. ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಂದ್ರೆ, I already told in previous videos also, ಆರ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ರಿಲಿವೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಸಮ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ಇಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ವಿಸಿಟೆಡ್ ಸೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೋ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಯೂ ಸಚ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ರಾಮಾನುಜ, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು. ಆರ್ if there was a temple like the Chauset Yogini temple derived provided inspiration for the new parliamentary building. So that was in current affairs. So Chauset Yogini temple ಮೇಲೆ static question na ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. Similarly, if you see here, intangible cultural heritage, there are around 16 intangible cultural heritage. So recently ಯಾವ್ದು ಆಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಸ್ಪಿರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರು, ಆರ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, there's no point in studying it ಅಂತ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. This was such a easy question. Even if you had a little bit of awareness about the current affairs, ಆ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇಸ್, ವಿಚ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಂಟ್ಯಾಂಜಿಬಲ್ ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಹೆರಿಟೇಜ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುನೆಸ್ಕೋ? ಯುನೆಸ್ಕೋ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ಯಾಂಜಿಬಲ್ ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಹೆರಿಟೇಜ್. ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಡಿಷನ್? ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗರ್ಬಾ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫೋಕ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗುಜರಾತ್. ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು? ಅರೌಂಡ್ 2024. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 2024 ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಗರ್ಬಾಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಆಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು? 1, 2, 3 ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, because they might ask you to arrange also sometimes. If they don't ask, the institute's paper will definitely ask. Next is Durga Puja, which was of West Bengal, and ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಕುಂಭ ಮೇಳ, which is of UP. Chow dance was intangible cultural heritage since a very long time. Recent years ಅಲ್ಲಿ, last 5-6 years ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು E3. So E3 ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. But since this has been asked, the chance that they'll ask again, the chances are less. But nevertheless, these are the areas from which UPSC will ask you questions. So ಯಾವ್ದು ಆರ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ರಿಲೆವೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, that becomes very important. So if you were to see Garba 2024, Durga Puja 2021, Kumbh Mela 2017. So each of this we know basic idea. Durga Puja time, it is a 10-day festival which has been celebrated. So idols of Durga are being made and they are being immersed in rivers. Similarly, Kumbh Mela, Mahakumbh Mela, which happens in Prayagraj of UP, it happens once in 12 years, and Kumbh Mela happens in other parts of the country also, where the cycle is once in every 3 to 6 years. ಇಷ್ಟು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ರಿಚುವಲ್ ಬಾತ್ ತಗೊಂತೀವಿ ಕುಂಭ ಮೇಳಲ್ಲಿ, because it is considered holy and it is believed that it will wipe out all the past sins that we have made. So see, UNESCO intangible cultural heritage ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಅದೇ ಇಯರ್ UNESCO tangible cultural heritage, which is nothing but world heritage sites ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಹೆರಿಟೇಜ್ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ there are more than 40, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಎಡಿಷನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದನ್ನೇ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಈಗ ರಮ್ಸರ್ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ದೋ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ 70-75, ರಮ್ಸರ್ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಕೇಳಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯುನೆಸ್ಕೋ ಕೂಡ ದೇ ಕುಡ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಟು ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಲೈನ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ವರ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಗಾಟ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ಆರ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ 2023? ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇಯರ್ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ One way of answering this is if you have studied current affairs, simple question. Another way of answering this is even if you did not study current affair, if you knew which were the ones which were added to UNESCO heritage site long ago, if you knew that, then also you could have answered. Karnatakadoorgantu idu tumba chennagi gottirbeku because sacred ensembles of Hoysalas, all three temples got added in the 2023. So this is what we should have known. And there was Shantiniketan also which got added. So the answer is only 2. If we did not know this, but if you had studied the static part, that which are the 35 or 40 sites which are already in UNESCO World Heritage List, you would have known that Mahabodhi temple of Bodh Gaya, this has been added long ago. So this is not the thing, and so is Rani Ki Chav. So ee tara kuda ನೀವು eliminate ಮಾಡಬಹುದಿತ್ತು. So let us move to question number 3. If you see the first two questions, they were easy. So is question number 3. See, there are no parables in Upanishads. Parables means stories or references made through a story. Idu namage gottilla andrunu what is it meaning? There are no parables in Upanishads. Now Upanishads, obviously these are philosophical things, and to make a person explain these complex things, they would have said so many stories. So obviously the chances that there is no story made in Upanishads doesn't make sense. Idu namage gottilla andrunu, parables ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ, there are no parables in Upanishads. There is no, it is telling in a negative sense that there's not so and so factor in Upanishads ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So the chances that it is correct is less. ಆ ತರ ಕೂಡ ತಗೊಂಬೋದಿತ್ತು, ಅಥವಾ parables meaning ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೂ ತಗೊಂಬೋದಿತ್ತು, wrong ಅಂತ. Upanishads were composed earlier than Puranas. Simple static thing, yes, Upanishads were composed earlier. After that came Puranas. So Upanishads, it does include illustrative stories, explain complex things. Like I said, ಇಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಏನು ಎತ್ತ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ, because there are so many stories. So Upanishads originated, timeline ಒಂದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿ, ಯಾವ BC, 800 to 400 BC roughly, and Puranas was from 300 to 1200 CE, because it happened over a duration of time. It was not like it came once and then it stopped. So Upanishads came first, then came Puranas. So Upanishads 800 to 400 BC, Puranas 300 to 1200 CE. ಇದು ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ in the subsequent year you never know how UPSC could use this data and formulate a statement. So ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವೇದಿಕ್ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ we need to know first came Vedas, then came Brahmanas, which are nothing but the ritual explanation about the Vedas, nothing but the expansion of Vedas. So Vedas ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವೇದ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣಸ್ ಬಂತು. Then there was Aranyakas, which are forest related text. Then came Upanishads. ಈ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಕೂಡ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ UPSC could ask you to arrange this also. So ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. Having said that, we'll move to the next question. PYQ important ಅಂತ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, 2022 question ನೋಡಿ, I had told you there that there was an option called Chandraketugar which was of West Bengal, and I asked you to remember it. Why? This is the reason. And you never know how the past data that you remember will be useful. ಆಗ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಇಯರ್ಗೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ 2 to 3 years ಪ್ಯಾನಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಚಂದ್ರಕೇತುಗರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಂಗಾಲ್. ಈವನ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡಿ ನಾಟ್ ನೋ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಕುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ರಾಂಗ್. ಚಂದ್ರಕೇತುಗರ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಂಗಾಲ್, it is a port city as well as known for terracotta art. Inamgaon, I think this is in NCERT, it is in Maharashtra, and it is a Chalcolithic site. Mangadu of Kerala is also correct, and it is a megalithic site. Edakkal caves anta, it is a very famous tourist spot, it comes under this site only. So this is also correct. Salihundam is of Andhra Pradesh, this is correct, but it does not contain rock cut shrines, rather it contains Buddhist stupas and viharas. So the answer to this question is 2 and 3. But if you knew that answer option 1 is wrong, at least 50-50, the chances that you would have got the right answer at least 50-50 ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, because 3 would have been present in both the option. So you had to choose between 2 and you had to choose between 4. Now that these sites have been mentioned, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಚಂದ್ರಕೇತುಗರ್, like I said, West Bengal, port city, and it is known for terracotta art. Inamgaon, Chalcolithic site, and there is Gode River which passes through it. And Gode River is a tributary of Bhima. ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Gode River is a tributary of Bhima, ಒಂದು, and through Inamgaon, Gode River passes. Mangadu, Kerala, megalithic sites. It has Edakal caves, Mariyur domes, and so on. Salihundam, archaeological site of Andhra Pradesh, known for Buddhist stupas and viharas. See, iga ee question alli the correct answer is 2 and 3. So which are the options which are not the answer? It is 1 and 4. The options which are not the answer becomes important for the subsequent years. So Salihundam of Andhra Pradesh alli ಏನು ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ subsequent years statement ಬರ್ಬೋದು. So this becomes important. Another simple static question over an important topic, which is Buddhism. With reference to ancient India, Gautam Buddha was generally known by which of the following epithets or names? Simply saying, Sakya Muni, Sakya Muni and Tathagata. Simple static syllabus. Tathagata, someone who has achieved nirvana, who has come out of the cycle of rebirth. This is Tathagata. And Sakya Muni, relating to the sage. Nayaputta means it is meaning as the leader of the group. So that is not what he was referred to as, because it would have created a hierarchical structure between him and his followers. So the answer to this question is 2 and 3. So ee tara bandaga, which are the other names through which he was called? This we will have to do homework. Sakya Muni. Muni means sage. Sakya means clan. So he was the sage of the clan or the wise one. Tathagata, he has come out of the cycle of rebirth and attained nirvana. Nayaputta was the leader of the men. So Nayaputta is not the answer here. So what happens? Nayaputta becomes more important for subsequent years. Nayaputta is called the leader of the men, and Buddha was not referred to it. So other names through which Buddha was called: Arhat, the worthy one; Lokavidu, knower of the worlds. So Lokavidu, Arhat; Samyak Sen Buddha, this you would have heard, perfectly self-awakened one. So Samyak Sen Buddha, Arhat and Lokavidu, especially Lokavidu, Arhat and Nayaputta. This becomes important. Now comes the difficult question. Sanghabhuti, an Indian Buddhist monk who traveled to China at the end of 4th century AD, was the author of a commentary on so and so. So which of these? See, all these options might look alien to most of us. I myself felt the same when I attempted this paper during the actual exam. So Sanghabhuti baggene ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇಳಿರಲ್ಲ, and he went to China and he has provided commentary on so and so. So ee tara bounces bande, there is no way that you could deduce or use any hints. The best thing that we could have done is to skip this question. Now that I have read this question and the solution, the answer to this I can tell that it's Sarvastivada Vinaya Sen. Now that this is the answer, we will have to do homework on these 3 options. That what are these referring to? ಈ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ಗಳು ಯಾ ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಹೀನಯಾನನ, ಮಹಾಯಾನನ, ಥೇರವಾಡನ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? ಸರ್ವಶ್ರೀವಾದ ವಿನಯ, it speaks about the code of conduct. So this was the answer to the previous question. Now that is done. They won't ask you the same thing. What they will ask you, they will pick the options which are not the answer and formulate question on that. So Pragna, Paramita. Paramita term you would have already heard. Paramitas referring to bodhisattvas who are supposed to attain perfections like generosity and so on. Idanna ನಾವು already PYQ ಅಲ್ಲಿ discuss ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. So Pragna Paramita, Pragna meaning wisdom. So ನಮಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು? Pragna Paramita ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಮಹಾಯಾನ ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್. ಅಥವಾ even if you remembered in PYQ that Paramitas was related to Mahayana Buddhism, that is also fine, because UPSC ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ತರ ಟರ್ಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬೇರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೀನಯಾನ ಆರ್ ತೆರವಾಡ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವರು ಫಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾ ಪರಮಿತ ಸೂತ್ರ, ಮಹಾಯಾನ ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್. ವಿಶುದ್ಧಿ ಮಗ್ಗ Theravada Buddhism. This also becomes important. This will have to remember. Vishuddhi Magga, belonging to Theravada Buddhism, and this text focuses on the path to liberation. Lalita Vistara is again relating to Mahayana Buddhism. See, each of this meaning in depth gottillde the basic thing is, see, Prajna andre wisdom anta gottu, Paramitas andre Mahayana Buddhism. This we could have understood. Vishuddhi Maga means Vishuddhi, relating to Theravada Buddhism, and Lalita Vistara is again relating to Mahayana Buddhism. E Muru, it becomes important for the year 2026 or even for the year 2027, because you never know how they'll pick and ask the question again. We'll move to another difficult question. So if you see the last question, and these questions are the only questions which were difficult from 2024 paper. Which one of the following is a work attributed to the playwright Basha? Few might know, few might not know about the playwright Basha. So which of this work is related to the playwright Basha? Basha, Madhyama, Vyayoga. Madhyama, middle, and Vyayoga. This is an event. It is an event which referred to the Mahabharata. Madhyama, Vyayoga. It is one of the many acts, Vyayoga, which depicts a story from the Mahabharata focusing on the reunion of Pandava brothers. Madhyama, Vyayoga. ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಈಗ ಭಾಷಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಸೊ ಭಾಷಾ ಪ್ಲೇ ರೈಟರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ಲೇ ರೈಟರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಭಾಷಾ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಶೇಕ್ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ್ ಡ್ರಾಮಾ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ನೆವರ್ ನೋ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 3-4 years how this could be asked again. And another thing, Mahabhasya, this work is written by Patanjali. Since Patanjali person is famous, this becomes important. And another work, Kavya Lankara, is been written by Bahamaha. So yaad gottilla andru Mahabhasya of Patanjali and Basha being called Shakespeare of Sanskrit. Even facts na we'll have to try to remember. So this was all about the 2024 PYQ discussion on ancient medieval topics. I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching.